The alarms began at dawn. Queen Saren of the Valari Empire woke to the echo of shrieking klaxons reverberating through her crystal palace. The lights above her throne pulsed in a violent rhythm, matching the pounding of her heart. She didn't need to ask what the alert meant, she already knew. Her children were gone. Find them, her voice thundered across the hall. The guards, tall, silver-skinned warriors with bioluminescent crests, scrambled to obey. But she could sense their fear, their confusion. The royal heirs, her twin children, Kale and Mira, had vanished from the protected wing of the palace, an area guarded by soldiers day and night. Saren stormed into the nursery herself. The silken bedding was torn. The scent of plasma discharge lingered in the air, an unmistakable sign of abduction. Her claws tightened around the railing of the cradle. No ransom note, no sign of struggle beyond the blast marks near the open window. Whoever had taken them had moved with precision and purpose. "Search the lower sectors," she commanded. "If the Terran diplomats are behind this, I'll burn their world to ash." No one dared correct her. The Queen's rage was legendary, her grief far greater than her wrath. But far beyond her empire, on a rain-soaked world called Earth, a man named Ethan Hayes trudged through a ruined forest with a rifle slung over his shoulder, and two strange, sleeping children wrapped in his jacket. Part 1. The Discovery. Ethan hadn't seen another living soul in days. The war between the humans and the Valari had torn the sky apart. Orbital debris still burned faintly overhead, streaks of fire fading into the clouds. He was a former pilot, discharged after a crash left him with a limp and a handful of medals no one cared about anymore. His small cabin deep in the wilderness was supposed to be his escape from war, not a place to find it again. But 3 nights ago, something had fallen from the sky. He'd gone to investigate, expecting wreckage, or perhaps a dead drone. Instead, he found a shattered pod half buried in the mud, smoke rising from its hull. And inside, 2 children. They weren't human. Their skin shimmered faintly under the moonlight, like sunlight through pearl. Their eyes glowed softly, the color of starlight reflected in water. They were terrified, whispering in a melodic language he didn't understand. When he tried to offer them water, they flinched, but when he spoke softly, they stilled. And when thunder cracked overhead, they reached for him. Now, days later, they slept in his cabin, curled up on the couch under an old blanket, their glowing eyes dim with exhaustion. Ethan sat by the fire, rubbing his temples. He should report them. The military would pay a fortune for this. But something in him refused. They were just kids. Lost. Scared. Cold. He'd been all 3 once too. Part 2, The Hunt. Back on Vala Prime, Queen Saren's search team scoured the nearby star systems. Her intelligence division intercepted faint signals from a downed shuttle traced toward the Sol sector. She felt a chill when she saw the data. Earth. The one planet she had sworn never to approach again. 2 years earlier, her people had fought a brutal war with humanity, ending in a truce neither side truly honored. Earth was considered hostile territory, and humans viewed Valari as monsters. But the Queen didn't care about treaties or politics. She would go herself. Ignoring her council's protests, Saren boarded her personal cruiser. Her general, Karn, knelt before her. "My queen, if the humans capture you—" "They won't," she interrupted coldly. "If they do, they'll wish they hadn't." Her ship vanished into the darkness of hyperspace, slicing through the void toward the blue planet below. Part 3. A Fragile Trust. Ethan spent the next few days learning small things about the children. The boy, Kale, was protective and cautious, often placing himself between Ethan and his sister. Mira, on the other hand, was curious, always staring at him with wide, unblinking eyes. He didn't know their names until one morning when the girl pointed at herself and said softly, "Mira." Then she gestured to her brother.
Kale.
"Ethan," he replied, tapping his chest. Her small fingers mimicked the motion.
Aiden.
He laughed quietly. It was the first time he'd laughed in months. That night, as rain hammered against the windows, he dreamed of the war, of burning cities, of alien ships hovering over the ruins. But when he woke, Mira was beside him, her tiny hand resting on his arm, glowing faintly. For reasons he couldn't explain, her touch eased the ache in his chest. By morning, he decided he would find a way to send them home. Part 4. The Arrival. Queen Saren's ship entered Earth's orbit cloaked. She scanned the planet's surface until the faint biological signatures of her children appeared, 2 Valari life forms near the northern forests. Her heart stopped. They were alive. She descended at night, her vessel landing silently among the trees. Her escort of guards wanted to accompany her, but she waved them off. "I'll go alone," she whispered. "They will fear you, but they will know me." Her eyes glowed with maternal fury as she moved through the forest. Every instinct screamed for vengeance against whoever had dared touch her young. When she reached the small cabin, she heard laughter from inside. Children's laughter. Her heart faltered. Through the rain-smeared window, she saw them, her twins, wrapped in blankets, sitting beside a human man. He was showing them how to start a fire with 2 stones, speaking softly, his tone patient and kind. The boy was smiling. The girl was giggling. And the queen's rage melted into something else entirely. Confusion. Who was this human who had not harmed them? Part 5. The Confrontation. The door creaked open slowly. Ethan froze, his hand instinctively reaching for the rifle. The children immediately turned toward the door, and their eyes lit up with sudden recognition. "Mama!" Mira cried. Ethan blinked. "Mama?" Before he could react, the tall figure stepped into the light. Her presence filled the small cabin like a tidal wave. She was otherworldly, silver skin that shimmered under the firelight, golden eyes burning like twin suns. And she was furious. Saren crossed the floor in 3 strides, her voice trembling. "Release them, human." Ethan didn't move. "They're safe here. I didn't harm them." Her gaze snapped to the rifle. "That weapon isn't for them." He placed it down slowly. "They crash-landed here. I've been keeping them warm and fed." Saren hesitated. She studied his posture, the lack of fear, the exhaustion in his eyes. He wasn't lying. Her voice softened, just slightly. "You protected them?" Ethan nodded once. "They needed help. Anyone would have done the same." The queen's expression faltered. "You're wrong. Not anyone." Behind her, the twins clung to her legs but looked back at Ethan. Kale pointed at him, his voice trembling. "Stay." Ethan's throat tightened. "I can't, kiddo. You've got your mom now." But Saren looked between them and saw something in her children's eyes she hadn't seen in months. Trust. They trusted the human. Part 6. The Decision. Outside, thunder rumbled. Saren stepped closer to Ethan, her towering form casting a shadow over him. "You understand what this means, don't you?" "That I just helped the enemy's children?" he said dryly. "Yeah, I figured." She studied him for a long moment. Perhaps not the enemy after all. She extended her hand, an ancient Valari gesture of gratitude. "You've done what few of your kind would have. You have my thanks." Ethan took her hand cautiously. Her skin was warm, almost humming with energy. "Just glad they're safe." She tilted her head, her golden eyes searching his. "You remind me of someone I once knew, a soldier who refused to surrender even when he'd lost everything." He smiled faintly. Maybe that's just a human thing. The twins hugged him goodbye, their glowing eyes filled with sorrow. Mira pressed something into his hand, a small crystal pendant that shimmered faintly blue. "For you," she whispered. When Saren led them out into the rain, Ethan watched them disappear into the forest until the lights of her ship lifted silently into the clouds. He stood there long after they were gone, the pendant warm against his palm. Part 7 Epilogue. Weeks later, the war between humans and Valari officially ended. Peace envoys arrived bearing a strange gift, a sealed message addressed personally to Ethan Hayes. He opened it with trembling hands. It contained a holographic image, Queen Saren herself. "Ethan Hayes," her voice echoed. "Because of your mercy, the war between our people has ended. My children speak of you often. They call you Protector. Should you ever look to the stars, know that the Valari owe you a debt beyond measure." The message faded, leaving him in silence. He smiled softly, staring up at the night sky. Somewhere out there, beyond the stars, 2 children were safe, and a queen remembered his name. And for the first time in years, Ethan felt at peace.